What's up, everybody? Today we're doing a little bit different of a video. You can see I'm in clean clothes, which is very, very rare, even if I'm not making videos. Also, we're not in the garage. We are out in kind of my all-seasons porch that's on the back of my house. We kind of keep a lot of things that we haven't used in a long time or we're not going to use for a long time out here. And I received a lot of shipments in this week. The shipments are from some of the biggest names in drifting, and I'm very excited to have these parts and be able to install them on my car. So look out for some install videos of these systems later, but some of these parts right now are for the E92, and some of them will be installed in the E36. Some of them might start in the E36 and then end up in the E92. We'll see how it goes. But today I'm just going to do the unboxing for you guys. Alright guys, first box is the lightest box. It's the first box I'm going to do. It's from Radium Engineering. Super stoked to be to have their parts on my car, and can't wait to see what I got here. I mean, I kind of know since I ordered it, but let's see what we got. Wow, they got some thick tape on here. Or I just opened it from the bottom. I really can't tell. I guess we'll find out. Oh, all right. All right, so Radium makes fueling components, fuel cells, fuel system stuff, and one of the things I ordered from them was their complete refueling kit. So I got this monster 8-gallon jug for fuel, breather, nice AN wrench for a huge AN. I'm not sure what that's for yet. Got some hose for the breather. Of course, the filler hose. So for the top of the tank to wherever I remote mount the filler. So this is a remote mount kit. This is for the top of the jug. Goes here. This beautiful filler cap. So I'll unwrap this. I don't want to scratch it, so I'm not going to unwrap it now, but you'll see when I install it in the car. And you know, some other part that, oh, this must be for the top of the cell to attach the refueling hose to, then attach to the cover. You can see my dog down here hanging out with us. He's very, very old, so he just chills. Now we're going to open this big Radium box here. I'm excited for this. Ugh. Wow, you see that? 70 pounds. Jeez. Oh, a monster, I think, sometimes. We got a lot of wrapping paper, that's for sure. Jeez, this stuff everywhere. Oh, I got some swag. Look at that. That's a nice hat. Look at that. Got a big head, so we got to go all the way to the end. What else we got? We got some pens and lanyards. Thank you so much, Radium. All right, Radium t-shirt. Can't wait to rock the swag. Now we're getting into the good stuff. You can tell because it's really thoroughly protected by these giant blocks. And of course some more paper. If you've heard of Radium before, you might be able to guess what this is by the last package. But this is the big kahuna. It's a Radium fuel cell with FCST. I got 3 Walbro 450s in here, and this is the be-all end-all of fueling for a drift car. I mean, super condensed packaging compared to like traditional ones. Everything's housed inside here. I got a nice 10-gallon tank that I can mount right between the strut towers, like a lot of the pros are doing now. And let me turn this around. Okay, if I want this radium facing up, this radium's upside down. So okay, anyway, this is what a lot of the pros are using. Now they're mounting it up near the strut towers to move the weight over the axle. So believe it or not, I'm just going to copy them. They probably have a pretty good idea of how to do this stuff. Wow, what a nice looking piece. Got some hardware and some instructions here. Who it was assembled by. Cool. Wow. Look at that fuel cell. What a nice piece. I mean, it just screams quality. And this is what I'm most excited for. You know, in my E36, I had a lot of starvation issues. In my E36, I used a stock tank, and I put one Walbro 450 on one side and one Walbro 450 on the other side. And that worked okay all season. I mean, it worked pretty good as long as you stay above like half a tank. You know, I had fuel in both sides of the saddle, and really one Walbro 450 is enough to power my car. So even if it did starve a little bit, it'd be okay. The problem is that even though it worked, sometimes if the gas tank was really full, it would overpressurize and actually push out one of the caps on the top, depending, and it would leak. And if you have fuel leaking at the starting line, which happens sometimes, you know, it's a no-go for the comp run or practice or whatever you're doing. So I definitely wanted to mitigate that problem on the E92 build, and this will be installed in the E92 along with the refueling kit and everything else from Radium. All right, guys, now I've got something that is not going to scream quality like the Radium engineering stuff did. This comes from the land of the coronavirus, straight off eBay. You'll never guess what it is. Kind of funny, actually. I've been using these cores for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 builds now. And all the things that I cheap out on, this is one of the things that really just hasn't left me high and dry. It really hasn't caused me any issues or anguish. I've had really good luck. I have one in my E36, and this time I got one that was a little bigger. I got one a little better design, and if you haven't already guessed it, it's a radiator. So I got this radiator off eBay. It's actually where I've gotten my radiators for like my last 3 or 4 car builds. And I honestly really can't complain. I can't complain about them. Even the rear mount radiator in my E36, it works really well. And it's from eBay. It's from China. It was, I think that one was like 135 bucks. This one was less than $200, but this one's a little bigger. A little bit different of a design too. So I'll show you that. This will also be mounted in the rear of the E92. I'm going to keep the cardboard on it to not mess up the fins. But you can see it's 30 by 19 by 3 inch core. It's a dual pass radiator, so you can see the split right here. The water will come in one side and come out the other. And if we look at the other side, the outlets are both on one side. So I'll be welding -20s to here and here, and running AN line to this. I'll also, actually, I shouldn't say me, Night Owl will TIG weld me some mounts on this radiator so I can mount it in the chassis. And I'll have to get a radiator cap and an overflow, and we'll have to get this working like it does in my E36. But this should work really well. Obviously, I'm going to put some really big fans on it, some really big shrouded fans. I'm going to try to shroud some air to it as well. but like I said, the setup I have in my E36 is working really well, so I went with what works again. The only difference being this time I will be using only an electric water pump. I won't be using a water pump on the engine that's going to go in the E92. In my E36 I actually use a stock LS water pump with no other water pumps, so it flows enough. But I think you might have seen this box in the back of the whole video. If you don't know what this is, you know, you've been really living under a rock as far as professional drifting goes, because this is used almost exclusively by every pro drifter in the US at least. I don't know about the world, but man, it's freaking heavy. And I can't wait to see this thing. I ordered this about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. And they had some issues due to the coronavirus, but man, what a pleasure dealing with Rick at RTS and also Winter's Performance, getting this out to me, and you know, just communicating and letting me know what's going on, you know, when I should expect it. And you know, I just really appreciate the guys over at Winters and Rick especially from RTS. This came a few weeks ago. I shouldn't say a few weeks ago. This came a couple weeks ago. This is the skid plate for the bottom of it. You can see the nice RTS engraved there. It's got a replaceable plate in the back. This is a really nice feature because, you know, you scrape this thing on the ground on bumpy tracks, and obviously you need a skid plate because you don't want it to hit the very expensive differential. But to make a removable pad that you can actually replace, you know, over and over and over again, you just screw a new one in. That's a really nice feature, skid plate particularly. And you know, very nice black powder coating or anodizing or something. And you know, just a really quality piece. Let's open this bad boy up, huh? Spin her around. So the packing slip for this set weighed 108 pounds. And I want you to know, I lifted this all the way in here, all the way back here to my den, just so I could make this unboxing video for you today and make sure this was in there. I am super excited to have one of these. This is one of those things that you really have to save up for, and you know, this should make all the difference in the world for how my car feels and how it drives. I've been using a welded M3 diff. Well, I guess it's not an M3 diff, but I've been using a welded differential for a long time now, and you know, I've been very lucky. I haven't broken any axles, actually. I've never broken an axle. I run 265 Accelera 200 treadwear tires at very low pressures, and I've never broken an axle, so I've been very lucky. But I've had to swap so many differentials due to ratio. So I had about 6 or 7 different differentials in my garage to switch the ratio up depending on how the car was feeling. I mean, I went from 293 all the way to 391. 323. I had a 345 in there at one point. I mean, I just went all the way down, and what I ended up really liking was the 315 for general purpose, all duty stuff. The wheel speed seemed to be just right to pour a lot of smoke but not destroy my tires. The 293 I could just plummet smoke, and but it would destroy the tires in 2 laps. The 315, they lasted a little bit longer, and you know, the more wheel speed you have, the less traction you have. So you really need to dial that in to be able to get away if you want to in the lead, or to be able to, you know, drop the clutch on the gas and speed up and grip up real fast to dive into somebody. So I'm super stoked to have this now, and we're gonna go ahead and get opening this. Wow, just wow, look at this. Nicely packaged, very protected. Let's see what's going on. And I think Winters is in Pennsylvania, so I guess there's some grand opening of this carpet store. But no, I expected this to just say coronavirus all over it, but you know, I don't see anything besides rugs and flooring So I guess that's a good sign, right? I mean, it doesn't take up the whole newspaper, right? But let's see what we got. We got first. Okay. Wow, okay. So we got our gear set. Very nice. I think I asked for a 3.3. So hopefully this is 3.3. But super stoked on that. And now we gotta figure out how to get this big mamma jamma out of here. What do we got over here? Oh, we've got the Winter's Performance catalog. So Rick from RTS specs these two Winter's Performance to his spec. And if you look on RTS's website, you know, there's an 800 horsepower version and then there's a 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 plus horsepower version. You know, it was really important to me that I knew, you know, what was real, what numbers were real, and what numbers were more part of a marketing gimmick. And if you look at other quick changes, you know, they say higher horsepower numbers and for, you know, the same price. And if you look at the parts that are being used to build those, they're similar, but sometimes they're missing just one or two very strong components that make this a true 1,000 horsepower plus differential versus some other manufacturers that are claiming it's an 800 or 1,500 horsepower differential and not actually putting the same spec parts into them. So a lot of guys are specing these to Winters and then sending them out, and I would assume they keep those specs pretty secret to you know, protect some of their IP. And you know, I'm pretty stoked. After I spoke with Rick at RTS at PRI, I knew that this is the one that was worth spending the money on. This was the one that I should have in my car that won't break, that I can really do anything I want with, and it's going to be the last differential I'm ever going to have to buy, because I was convinced after speaking to a lot of different manufacturers and also Winters themselves that this was the best one. This is the one that you should buy. And you'll see this in the back of tons of Pro Drifter cars, and I'm super stoked to be able to have one as I do. Just gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this thing out of here now. Wouldn't be an unboxing if I left it in the box, right? All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this. It's gonna rotate if I, well, maybe not. Oh yeah. So look at this thing. This is, what a beautiful piece. I mean, the quality is second to none. We got RTS right on the back here. You know, they sell a 6-bolt casing as well, but you know, I kind of decided that it's very unlikely I'm going to be in a situation where half the amount of bolts actually causes me some issues. So I didn't really care for that. I also kind of like how the 12 bolts look, and I think, you know, the 1,000 horsepower units don't have an option for 12 or for 6 bolts. So I'm not sure if you can get them to build one. You probably can, but you know, just on the website or whatever, I don't think there's a 6-bolt option for the 1,000 horsepower plus one. To use this, actually, you take this cover off and you put these gears in here. You just push them on. You swap them. You can do whatever you want. It takes about 5 minutes to swap gears in this. Well, maybe a little longer, maybe 10, I don't know. I haven't done it before. All right, so this is something you guys probably haven't seen before, at least not on my channel, but this is a Siki rear subframe that carries a Winters quick change. So I got really lucky, and one of my friends here in Georgia, he actually parted his E36 out, and he had all of basically everything to run the quick change in his car. In fact, he had the quick change in his car, And he was willing to sell me everything except for the differential himself because he was switching platforms. So I have the subframe here, I have the drive shaft, and I also have the axles for it. So I am good to go to install this thing like right away. I'm gonna try to get it in this weekend.